All righty. Good morning, everyone. Oh, this is fantastic. You guys are going to absolutely love this story I'm about to tell you. Let me do this the right way. Let's see if we can do this the right way, and then I'm going to have one great story for you.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
I blame this guy on the right.
Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This
And
is
this
the
guy on the
JP
right.
Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, and welcome to a Monday edition, a St. Patrick's Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. Man, are we so glad to see you guys. And you just missed a most spectacular 15 minutes of show open that nobody ever saw because I forgot to hit the go live button. That's fantastic. I know. Good morning. Welcome. So, little inside podcasting here. So on Nick's not here. He's out off on his anniversary. Congratulations, Nick and Casey. So I'm doing the show solo this morning. And I got, I used to have a little checklist, but I got so good at it, I don't do my checklist anymore. So I'm going down the whole thing. And I forgot to hit go live. So I've just been talking to myself for about 15 minutes, talking about golf. So I hope you guys are entertained. And it's not like I'm drinking on St. Patrick's Day. There's no Jameson in there, although you'd believe there was, because a drunk doesn't even hit that go live button. So, yeah, good morning to you guys. And I'm sorry you missed the award-winning open of this show. So that's fantastic. And you guys are already in here, so thank you. Please say your comments. What an idiot I am for not hitting the go live button, but here we are. Thanks for joining us here on this St. Patrick's Day Monday. I probably should have taken the day off and gone to the pub, but I did not. So anyway, welcome in. We're going to get to the Players' Championship here, which I just talked about for 15 minutes. A great Monday finish, or maybe not. Certainly great for the Irishman, Rory McIlroy, who got his 28th win, his 8th. He's the 8th multiple winner at TPC for the Players' Championship. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. We got Valspar coming up. We'll do some Bucks. Levante David will have his press conference today at 11 o'clock. USF women are into the tournament as a number 12 seed. Obviously, we knew they were getting in. They're going to play Tennessee, so we'll get to that. We've got the University of Florida is the number 1 seed and the favorite by many to win the national championships. I saw Jay Will picked them yesterday. Seth picked them yesterday. I think did Jay Billis pick them? Anyway, they're the favorite in Vegas to win it. So we'll talk with Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com, who was there in Nashville covering the team at the SEC Championship. So he'll join us at 11:15. Bobby the Chief Taylor will join us at 10:30, which actually is coming up here in a little bit. And we'll talk Lightning with him as they get a big win at Boston earlier this weekend on Saturday. Great game there. And we'll look ahead to the Flyers tonight. So let's get it rolling here this morning. Thank you guys for joining us. Whatever you want to bring to the table, hit it up in the comments. All right, I'm going to get right into it. This morning, the Players' Championship, Rory McIlroy gets the big win in the playoff. It was a 3-hole aggregate playoff, and it was windy out there big time. And Rory stepped up and ripped the driver 336. He hit driver wedge into the par 5 16th. How about that? Meanwhile, J.J. Spawn, who should have won it yesterday, but left his putt short, 1 revolution short on the 72nd hole on 18, would have been only the second birdie all day, would have walked off and been the greatest finish in certainly his career, one of the great finishes, as Rory would have blown a 3-shot lead with 5 to play. But J.J. Spawn, who was short all day long in his putts, never adjusted and was short again. How do you leave that putt short? I have no idea. So they went to a 3-hole playoff today. Rory gets a birdie on 1. JJ flares it to the right on his drive, hits it into the greenside bunker, can't get it up and down. So he goes to 17, and the wind's blowing from 10 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour. And so Rory just steps right up and hits a 9-iron, which he had practiced on the range into the same wind, 3/4 9, knocks it in the middle of the green. JJ Spawn gets up, talks about the club selection, was very indecisive. It goes with the 9 as well and hits it right through the wind, or the wind laid down. I mean, it's a matter of luck at that point. If the wind gusts hard, he's in the middle of the green and he's still in it. And it kind of laid down for him, and it flew right over and went into the water. So, and then on 18, he was a disaster. So not a good day for JJ Spawn, but he picks up a huge check, probably the biggest of his career. He's only had one win on tour, kind of a journeyman, but he's the first to get 3 top 3s this year. So he's made a lot of money. I think that'll get him into the Masters too, top 50. So we'll see, but great tournament, obviously, for Rory McIlroy. He is really tuned up and headed to Augusta, hoping to get that elusive win there. So good for him. All right, we're going to talk some Rays as well. Over the weekend, had a chance to talk with Carter McCain, who's leading one of the groups trying to buy the Rays, who, according to Matt Silverman, are not for sale. Right. It was so funny. I was speaking with someone else this weekend, and he said, I had a friend in government who's been doing negotiations with the Rays for over 8 years and various different things. And he said, one of the consistent things this guy tells me is nothing comes out of their mouth that's not a lie. I mean, this is a governmental official that's been dealing with the Rays and basically said nothing that comes out of their mouth is not a lie. And this is why it's so hard to deal with the Rays. It's interesting, over the weekend, there are 2 or 3 articles that popped up. Mike Bianchi, a longtime columnist at Orlando Sentinel, very popular, sometimes a contrarian, wrote a couple of pieces about it coming to Orlando. And I'm like, hey, Mike, give me a call. I'll let you know what this is all about. This is nothing but Stu Sternberg reaching out to the folks in Orlando, getting them all hot and bothered and just trying to drive up the price on the groups that are trying to buy this team. Obviously, MLB is trying to not force out, but heavily pressure him to sell the team because they realize he can't get a deal done in Tampa or St. Pete. Nobody wants to work with him. He's got to sell the team. They're pressuring him by threatening to take away his revenue sharing, which is unprecedented. So Stu's kind of cornered, very much so. But now he reaches out to Orlando and tells them, oh, yeah, give us an offer. Yeah, and gets them all hot and bothered. And like I put in my post, it's like, hey, guys, the stripper does not love you. The stripper does not love you. Put your money away. She's just flirting with you. She's using you. And that's what Stu does. There's no chance Major League Baseball is going to put a team in Orlando. No chance. Zero chance. They want the Tampa market, which they've invested 30 years in, obviously. They have now multiple groups of deep-pocketed owners. And it's my information now, as we told you last week, that Major League Baseball now is talking to all the groups and trying to bring them together, maybe as one, cherry pick the investors that are in all these different groups and kind of bring them kind of together as an all-star team, put that group together. And I was told that the price, although it's only worth about 1.25, Stu's trying to get 1.8, 1.9, if not more. I was told the price might settle around 1.7, 1.8, which is a big overpay. But obviously, this is a play for all the groups that is not just baseball. It's about building an entertainment complex. So you have multiple revenue streams. Both of these groups have lots of money. They're deep pocketed. They will be able to increase the payroll, also lose money for the first few years if they have to in order to get the stadium built. It's a long-term vision. It's a real estate play. It's an entertainment district play. And both of these groups, or all 3 of the groups, have enough money to make that happen. So that's where I think it stands. And a lot of people have asked me over the weekend, how fast is this going to get done? Well, Carter told me last night that, quote, things are moving quickly. Things are moving quickly. So, but that may mean not what you think it means, because I was also told that a Major League Baseball source said Stu is not going to go easy. He's going to fight it all the way. And we know this. This is part of his MO. So when asked how quickly, it's a wild card. It's really a wild card. I don't think it goes past a year. I don't think it can, because then he's going to get into losing money. I think the revenue sharing is already done for this year, so he's going to get that money. So he'll make, again, his 60 to 80 to 100 million, whatever he usually makes a year. Nobody knows, but it's considerable because he's getting the revenue sharing and all that money this year. But after this year, then he's going to miss out on that. So he's not going to hold on to the team and lose $100 million. I don't think he'll do that. So, but still, he's under pressure to sell the team. So how quickly it gets done, I mean, I wish I could say it'd be quick, but I don't know. If it was anybody else, a normal person, normal, owner who's, just like in Baltimore and the Twins and other places that are selling them, they get to a fair price, they sell the team. It's just that simple. But obviously it's never that simple or easy with Stu Sternberg. And also over the weekend, almost laughable, I think this came out on Friday, that the Rays floated an idea that they'd sign another 10-year lease, which of course would, if they extend the lease, they'd get redevelopment rights again, or extended, I would think. That's what they're going for. So they would still get a piece of the redevelopment. 50% is what this lease has now, which is considerable, obviously. So they would still get that. They would stay there for 10 years. And it would be very difficult to develop the Trop while the Rays are still there. And what they were talking about is having the city put in 200, the county put in 200, the Rays put in 200, and quote 200. They redevelop the Trop, or just totally refab it and play there for another 10 years. So now it would be $400 million local money for another 10 years. A terrible deal. Terrible deal for Pinellas. Then they can't redevelop the Trop site like they want to do it. I mean, it's such an arrogant proposal. Like, it's still all about Stu. So he can stay at the Trop, continue to cash huge checks, revenue sharing checks, general fund checks, make huge profits, still not invest in a team. He'd still have the low payrolls, just the same shit that's been going on forever, right? Same stuff. And we'd have to be still in a stadium that's not accessible to 80% of the market, Monday through Thursday games. You're still putting lipstick on a pig. It's a stadium that is uninspiring, that nobody wants to go to. Players don't want to play in. So all still remains the same, except, we don't get any of the other benefits. It's such an arrogant proposal. And of course, Mayor Welch is like, no, thank you. I have no appetite to do any business with this group whatsoever. Pinellas County, Chris Lopp was like, yeah, we're not interested in that. No, thank you. Because that only benefits Stu. But the arrogance to come out with that, like it doesn't benefit anybody else. Maybe a few people in Pinellas that actually go to the games, but no. So anyway, that's kind of where it stands right now. These groups are still trying to get in. Orlando thinks they have a shot. They do not, in my opinion. That's just Stu trying to flirt with them. Put your money in your pocket, walk out the door. Stripper doesn't love you. Sorry, Orlando. Respectfully. I mean, respectfully. Great market, great for a lot of different things, not for a baseball team. There's no proof whatsoever that tourists would come to go to a baseball game and fill your stadium. I just don't see it. They barely support the teams they have. 81 baseball games is a totally different deal. And they got to come up with $5 billion total for stadium, relocation fee, and buying of the team. I don't think they have the money. I really, really don't. All right. So also I mentioned USF. The women will play Tennessee, the 5th ranked Vols. Now, USF's kind of a wild card as a 12 seed. They beat the heck out of Duke, the ACC champs, 65-56 up there. They've won 12 out of their last 14. They won 3 games in a row at the tournament, did not trail in any of them. And here's kind of a sneaky stat. USF is number 2 in the nation in 3 defense, perimeter defense, allowing just 16.7% on 3-pointers. Tennessee lives off the 3. They shoot the second most 3-pointers in women's basketball, 31 per game. So that's an interesting little stat there that gives, I think it's a good matchup for Jose Fernandez. Congratulations to him. 10th time the ladies are into the tournament. And by the way, over the weekend, Ben Fletcher was let go as the men's coach. So they're now in a search for the next men's coach. Mike Bray's name, former Notre Dame coach, had been mentioned. But an opportunity here for Michael Kelly to make another great hire. And I think Ben did a great job given the unreal, horrible circumstances of Amir's untimely death and how popular he was as a coach. I can't even imagine what it was like for him this year for Coach Fletcher to do that, go through that. But he did a great job considering the circumstances. So now USF men will be looking for a new coach. And the ladies, here we go. It'll be Friday afternoon, I believe, is when they will be playing. And of course, Florida, number 1 seed, SEC champion. Boy, they are just such a good basketball team on so many levels. Chris Harry's going to join us at 11:15 from FloridaGators.com. He was there in Nashville for the SEC championship game, so we will chat with him and catch up on the Florida Gators. And we'll get to Bobby the Chief Taylor here in just a little bit to talk some bolts. All right, we will take our first break. And we will come up on the other side if I find the right place here. Oh, and I see Chief is in there. So Chief is in the bullpen. So we'll get to him in just a second after this quick break on the JP Peterson Show.
Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite. I love it. So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Monday. We had Bobby the Chief Taylor up on his phone, and now he has disappeared. So I don't know what happened. He was there, and then he's gone. So we will try to do a little producing here on the fly. Yes, we are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Now's a good time. Anytime's a good time, really, to make sure that you are fully insured on your home, your auto, everything. That's one of the things people don't know about. Sometimes you don't have enough insurance. If your value of your home has gone up dramatically, and for many of you it has, if you have $250,000 worth of insurance and your house is now worth $500,000, of course, rebuilding costs are more. You got to make sure you have enough. So Italiano Insurance, the great folks there will talk you through it. They're actual human beings that will answer the phone. Customer service, the way it used to be, 813-877-7799. All right, let's see if we can get this done now. Two old guys with technology, the great Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. What's up, Chief? How you doing?
I'm doing good, JP.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we got it. We did it.
Oh,
we
good.
did it.
Yeah, there we go.
You'll find this. We'll find this. You'll find this hilarious. So I'm doing the show myself, producing it myself this morning, and so I did a great 15 minutes to start the show, Bros. I was so good my first 15, and then I look up to the right, and it says "Go Live." I didn't turn the damn machine on, so it was just me talking into a microphone for 15 minutes. So that's what we're dealing with today, partner. How you doing?
Oh,
How you doing?
I'm lucky I could even turn my phone on, let alone get.
Well, we got it done.
Good, doing good.
All right, hell of a game on Saturday. Something I don't think I've seen before. The Lightning held the Bruins without a shot on goal in that second period. They were absolutely suffocating. Now, we're not going to sit here and pretend that this is the best Bruins team we've seen, but that's still a hell of an accomplishment, and it kind of shows us that the Lightning are getting back to their winning ways of what we saw in February. That was a nice game on Saturday.
You know what? I think, JP, in my mind, and I've been rehashing it throughout the whole weekend, that might be the best game I've seen this team play in the last 4 years.
Wow.
I mean, think about it. They only gave Boston 4 shots in the last 40 minutes.
Holy shiz.
4 shots. Think about it. That's
crazy.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, no shots in the second and 4 in the third. And Boston, yeah, they're not the same Bruins, but they're still a decent hockey club.
Yeah.
And it's not, you weren't playing our Sisters of the Poor. And for me, it was, I just couldn't get over it, how good they looked and how hard they played. And, and now for me, and we were talking about it the other day about Eric Erlinson and I about, well, how will they play tonight? And I says, you know what? What's good about playing a team that kind of embarrassed you a little while ago right away is that you can get even in a hurry.
Yeah.
If you had to wait a month or 2 months, it might be a little bit different. It kind of be your memory bank's gone. But it was only like 4 or 5 days ago. So now I think I don't know if they can put up the same kind of effort like they did the other night, but I'll tell you what, I bet you it's close.
Well, Chief, I guess that's kind of it, what it's about. Since the guys came in, Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gourde. Nope, I still got you. Since Yanni and Bjorkstrand came in, the team did not look great the first few games, to be honest. So have they finally figured out who's playing with who and how we play in this game against Boston with the new guys coming in?
Yeah, think about it. You got Yanni Gourde that gets in there in the forecheck and creates havoc. And he had 4 hits that game, and and he's what, $165, something like that, $170, and I mean he brought energy to that top line, and then then you get with Gensel and Point, and then you put in. I really like Borkstrand. He's a very smart hockey player. I think I like to see him on the power play more often, which he was a little bit on the game there, but for me, it's nothing against Point, Gensel, and Kucherov are tremendous players. Don't get me wrong. Even Boston they were trying to hit Kuch all the time. They were trying to really rather than just on 2 lines.
Sorry, we lost you there for a second, but I agree, and I think it was going to take Coop a while to figure it out. Who plays with who and how, and we've got 17 games left.
KP?
Yeah, I got you. You're kind of going in and out, but that we're working it. We're working it. The dadgum cell signal's not perfect, but we got it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It was going to take a while for Cooper to get all the lines going, but I think he's got them. So you got the Flyers coming in tonight, and as you mentioned, they kind of embarrassed the Lightning the other day, even though the Lightning got a point out of it. Torch's group had lost 5 in a row. So how do you think the matchup goes tonight? What do you think?
I think the Lightning will be prepared more. they were playing so well, and then they went for 3 or 4 games where they were kind of, you know. And in this, the one thing that I've always been a really, really happy about and really amazed about is that the core has a very, very good self-analyzing core. You know, with the Hedman and Cooch and McDonough and Point, Gensel. You know, you go right down the line. The guys that have been here for a while, the core. They don't point the finger elsewhere. They point the finger right at their own chest. You know, we got to do this better. I got to do this better. This has to be done better. And they know that. They try to say it in a diplomatic way, you know, but they understand that, you know, they have a very high standard and they want to keep everybody at that level. And I think that's what's going to see. I think you're going to see a pretty good effort here tonight.
Also, when you look at some of the other deals that were made at the deadline, everybody's looking at what Florida did with Marshawn and bringing in Seth Jones. Of course, Marshawn's hurt, and so is Kachuk. And we don't know when they're going to come back. They think they'll both be back for the playoffs, but nobody really knows. So at this point, maybe it's better to get the Panthers early in the playoffs than later in the playoffs. How do you think this works down the stretch and into the playoffs? And is it the Lightning and the Panthers, the favorites in the East? What do you think?
The audio keeps breaking up, JP.
Okay. I was asking you about the Panthers. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, the move that really helps them the most is Seth Jones. You've got a big right-handed shooting defenseman that can play solid defense, can move into that power play, you know, and run the power play. He is a tremendous asset for them. And that, for me, is probably as big a thing, a bigger pickup as anybody else. You know, you get Marchand out there, he's going to create a lot of fire, you know, problems out of the ice with the other team. But, you know, he's a good player. He's not as quick as he used to be. But for me, Jones is the biggest thing because they've lost Ekblad for a few games now because of that suspension, and he'll be able to fit right in there. So, you know, that's the key for Florida against Florida now is that they have a D crew that can really move the puck in there. And we have to make sure that that's the one area where I think they're a little bit better than we are at moving that puck and keeping it in the offensive zone. So that's something that we'd have to really make sure that we have to move the puck a little faster against them than we have in the past.
Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. Chief, what would you like to see for the Lightning the last 17 games here as they head for the playoffs? What do you think they need to do better?
You know what, JP, for me, it's a matter of playing smart. You know, you can always say, oh, we got to play hard and all that. I understand that, but you have to play smart along with it. And when they really don't force things, when they really play hard and let things come to them and then take advantage of the openings that the other team gives you, that's what created that great 10-game or 12-game streak there that they went on. That's what they were doing so well. I'd like to see that on a consistent basis, you know, the final 16, 17 games.
And as far as Vasi goes, you know, he was in a groove those 10, 11 games and then got a little loose. Is he good to go, you think? Is there anything bothering him at all? Because he did get a little loose in a few of those games.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, he had a couple of, crazy goals scored on him, you know, which is rare. Right. I think he's fine. I mean, you know, one of the things for him is that in any goal, you got to get in the game early and get in it quickly. You know, the 2 or 3 shots, the first 2 or 3 shots are always very important. Even if you just stop an icing from going into the net, it's got to be important for you. But for me, I think we never have to worry about him.
Yeah. All right, Chief, we did it. We got through it in this great technology we have here, partner. Appreciate you. We'll catch you tonight at the rink. Thanks, partner.
Great. Thanks, JP. Pretty good.
All right. Bobby the Chief Taylor right there. Yeah, we both forgot to push the right buttons. All right, so we'll get it all right. I'm going to take a quick break, folks. When we come back on the other side, just 2-minute break here. We'll get to all of your great comments, any questions, thoughts, any other things you guys want to talk about. Put them in the comments. You can do that on YouTube. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on X as well, at the JP Peterson Show. So we will take a quick break and be back on the other side. Stay with us.
Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here on this St. Patrick's Day Monday. And want to thank the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Hey, guys, you need a chain. You need to see this. I got this beautiful silver crosshair that I love wearing. You can get one just like it at the Gold and Diamond Source or whatever chain you like. They have a great men's department. They just recently expanded the whole men's department. They got the baller watches in there. Get one of these, get one of these. Every man needs a chain. You got to have one, folks. Guys, chicks dig it. So get you some good jewelry, a great chain, nice masculine one at the Gold and Diamond Source or whatever you like. And they've got free services as well. Free sizing, free setting, free lifetime warranty, free jewelry cleaning, and free appraisals as well. It's all free at the Golden Diamond Source when you buy there. So it's a great resource if you're looking for anything. You're going to pop the question, guys. Spring is in the air. Love is in the air. Nowhere else to do that but the Golden Diamond Source and get a real diamond, not a fake diamond. The Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, always online at the goldanddiamondsource.com. All right, let me get to you your wonderful snarky comments on this morning after I talked for 15 minutes into a empty space. It's worth every penny. John Hill, good morning to you. Congrats, Rory, on his second TPC championship. Go Irish, like you're Irish, John. Seriously. Daniel Rivera says, good morning. Brody Brazil put a video out yesterday with 5 possible outcomes. He must be getting a lot of views from the Trop stuff because he keeps doing the videos. Number 1, stay at the Trop. That ain't happening. Absolutely no way. Nobody has an appetite for that ridiculous proposal. Stay in limbo. I don't think Major League Baseball is going to allow that to happen. There's too much money at stake. They got to expand. They want to expand. They have owners that are willing to buy the team with Tampa roots, deep pockets, build in Tampa. I don't understand how it goes any other way. Sold and stay, likely. Yes, I believe that's what's happening. Sold and gone, no chance of that because MLB. It is unbelievable how often I see in columns, Mike Bianchi. Oh, they could relocate to Orlando. You need 2/3 vote to change markets. The owners are at war with Stu Sternberg. They're threatening his revenue sharing, unprecedented. How do you think on God's green earth he's going to get 2/3 of the vote to get there? He ain't. It's not happening. So they're not moving. They're staying here. In a shocking move. Unlikely. Yeah, it's not happening. We've gone down all the different options. Rick says, is there an actual show today on YouTube, or did Stu the Leprechaun sabotage him again? I think we're up on YouTube now, hopefully. I forgot to hit the start button if you're just joining us. Daniel Rivera says, with the shocking move on point number 5 in Brazil's video, it would be MLB influencing sale to either Utah, Nashville, or Portland with no expansion happening. I just don't see it. It just doesn't make sense. Now Brazil thinks they're going to move to Orlando. It's not happening. It's a leverage play, folks. And love Brody, but okay, we're done talking about him. It is a good St. Patty's Day, especially when I do that. Yeah, we talked about McElroy this morning, and it's all about Augusta now for Rory, isn't it? He's had such an opportunity to win there, and it'll be a great story. And, just as a kind of aside, so yesterday they have a rain delay at the Players. Now you have your entire A team out there for NBC Golf, the best minds in all of golf. There are so many huge topics to talk about in the game of golf. Where's it going? LV, Live versus PGA. Is Trump getting involved? What's going on? Are they going to bring everybody together? That's been the talk. You had the controversy with Morikawa saying, I don't know anything about in terms of doing interviews post-match, and which I thought was so on brand for selfish little Morikawa, and exactly what the PGA Tour does not need. I mean, the PGA Tour is struggling in terms of eyeballs, especially in terms of where they were pre-Live. And now you have players coming out saying, I don't know anything in terms of doing an interview for the fans. Sometimes I think these players, they get it so personal with the media, and some of the media do make it personal. Which I don't like. But so he feels like he's, I'm not going to talk about losing. I'm not going to talk about losing. I don't feel like answering those questions from these guys because it gets personal for him. Like, thinks people are out to get him. Morikawa was just like that. If you've watched him on Full Swing, he doesn't come off as a very, he seems like a very selfish, insecure, not a very likable character, in my opinion. And so for him to say that, that's not bringing more fans into the tent. I mean, you look like a spoiled, entitled brat, which is what he is. And it's not good for the game. So that topic, so many other topics that they could have talked about, and they went to pre-recorded footage of earlier in the day or round 2. Like, I thought that was a bit of a, I would much rather have heard Gary Koch talk about the topics of the day and all the great minds you have there. Just kick it around for freaking, you imagine me like doing a golf show for 2 hours. I mean, there's a lot of talented guys that trust me, they could riff on golf and great topics and do a lot of different stuff. Get creative. Everything doesn't have to be scripted out. I think it would be fantastic. All those guys know more golf than we've ever known in our lives. And they're all very talented, and they never really get to long form express a lot of those opinions. It would be a perfect time to do that. And they punted to previous coverage. Not a big fan of that. Kenneth McClary says, good morning, JP. I guess that should tell you today is Monday if your day started out like that on St. Patrick's Day, like I'm drunk, like I had a whiskey for breakfast. Thomas Casper says, Ken Welsh laser beam focused on that $50 million with or without the raise. He's talking about the what was promised to the, quote, black community for the Woodson Museum and affordable housing and all that stuff. Again, Ken Welch can do that 10 times over without the raise. Instead of giving all the money away, basically in the real estate profits to the raise, he can now sell the Trop site, not just 66 acres, but 88 acres, where they're just going for $20 million an acre right now. Obviously, you can't sell all that at that high rise price, but it's easily worth $1.5 billion, and you don't have to put infrastructure into it like you were going to have to do with the Rays. So yeah, the black community should come out way better than with a boondoggle deal for a billionaire who's badmouthed your city for 20 years. Sir Ovo, is that how I'm saying this? Sir Ovo? JJ with a flush 8-iron. I think it was more of a flush 9-iron on 17. He hit it perfectly. I mean, the wind laid down and went over the green. He said after the round, he hit it exactly like you wanted to, maybe a little bit too much adrenaline. It's kind of, the luck of the Irish at that point, and the luck was with Rory. His shot hit the middle of the green on 17, and JJ's did not. I don't think there was any difference in how they hit the shot. Rory was much more committed. There's no doubt about that. So I'll say that. B says, congratulations, JP. You were totally right on the Rays moving to Tampa in 2040. Yeah, that thing's not happening, by the way. That renovation of the Trop, that's not happening. B says, Brody's new video about how opening day not sold out, tons of tickets remaining for $300 each. Yeah, of course there are. And when they come down towards the end, it'll be sold out. They're already coming down. All the prices, there's most of the tickets that are available are on the secondary market. And I'm not sure how you tell what's on the primary market and what's on the secondary market, because it's all held by Ticketmaster, right? So how do we know? And so once these ticket prices start coming down, and they will, it'll be sold out. I'm not worried about that. And people want to make a big deal out of that. Opening day is going to be sold out, and most every other game will be as well. As long as they're not charging $300 a ticket, which I think there's been some adjustments to his price gouging, maybe at the behest of Major League Baseball. Richard Francis, good morning to you. First time I've seen you in here. JP, he will fight and probably win a lawsuit taking away his revenue sharing. Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't think Major League Baseball is that stupid. I don't think they're going to play the cards unless they are well litigated ahead of time. And their lawyers are not going to have him do something that's not going to work out. So the new CBA starts. Don't forget, if there's a work stoppage coming up as well. So it's not the best time to be buying a baseball team, I guess, with a work stoppage coming up, unless you look at it as, the work stoppage will get the financial house in order better, which is one positive way of looking at it if you're buying the team. But no, I think if they're threatening revenue sharing, which is something that's already on the books, as I understand it, it's at the commissioner's discretion where the revenue sharing goes. That's what I read in The Athletic from Evan Drellich. There's no reason to think that. I haven't poured over the CBA myself, but they evidently have the power to do it, so they can do it. So I don't think he'll lose that. Elijah Barrera says the sale of the Rays needs to get done quickly. The state of affairs with the Rays these days is a joke. You think the Rays will sell out for opening day? Yes, I do. They haven't sold it out yet. Again, are these secondary market tickets? If the prices are going for $300, then in the regular seats, that tells me that they've already been purchased as season tickets, and this is what ticket brokers do. They purchase them as season tickets for $60 a pop, and then they put them up there for $300. That doesn't mean the tickets haven't been sold. They've been sold, but that's secondary market tickets. So let's not make a big deal out of that. Am I reading this wrong? Because I guess the only people that know if the tickets have originally been sold are the Rays, right? So if they're $300 and they were $60 as season tickets, that tells me they're secondary market tickets and people are trying to gouge it. Rick says, Stu will return it to Tony Montana. Say hello to my little friends, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Ain't no doubt he's going to try to litigate it. But again, listen, Stu's a tough guy. And like I said in the opening, a Major League Baseball source told us, quote, Stu's going to fight and fight hard. Yeah, he's to get every last dollar that he can get. But I think even Stu at some point is going to realize that he's cornered. Does he really want to go litigate this with Major League Baseball? Seriously, he can threaten that. Does he really want to do that? When your option is to take 1.8 billion or 1.7 billion, which is about 500 million more than it's really worth, and walk, you want to go spend more money on attorneys against MLB, who has an endless supply of money in attorneys? I don't think, has there ever been an owner that sued MLB? I don't think so. And there's a reason for that. You're going to lose. So you want to go up against all the other owners. Yeah, and threaten to expose their dirty house. Well, guess what? You're going to get exposed too. And I don't think Stu, and maybe he is, but before, a month ago or 2 months ago, or maybe even 6 months ago, it was me and Chris Lotfula that were ripping on Stu. Yeah, a lot of you fans were. There's a bunch of you. He was very unpopular, but only a few of us actually voiced it. Now, of course, everybody in the media is anti-Stu. And when they realize he's on his way out, now everybody's suddenly attacking the media. Where were you? Where were you for the past 5 to 10 years? You and the media that are now telling everybody, the fans are tired of hearing him lie. Where you been? Supporting Stu Sternberg every chance you got in all this silliness. You may have been against the Montreal plan, but everybody was. That was but what everything else you supported him. Everything else you supported him. Oh, this new stadium, it's going to happen. Oh, it's going to be great. No, it's not. It's a boondoggle, and it's never going to happen. You were wrong. We were right. I know it hurts, but it was never going to happen. It was always a land grab. We told you that when we first saw the deal. So coming to Jesus now is a little late. And if you're listening to those folks, you should ask that question. What else we got here? Says JP, these groups need to talk to Stu, not MLB. They need to talk to the owner. Listen, I had a conversation last night with Carter McCain, and they're trying to get to Stu. It's not easy. You got to go through his lawyer. I was told. So they're doing that in going through the lawyer and getting the offers in, but you also have to go through Major League Baseball to get vetted. So it's kind of again, normally these deals, obviously, like the Twins are for sale. Easy to get into the data room. Everything's above board. Here's our numbers. Here's what it looks like. Come take a look. Give us an offer. Like we had Matt Laporta in here last week, who's helping a group of investors look at buying the Twins, and he explained the whole process. You get vetted by Major League Baseball. They get you into the data room. You sign the non-disclosures, blah, 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 blah. You make an offer. You get the team. But, of course, with Stu, everything's got to be hard. Everything's got to be difficult. But I think at some point, does he really just want to be vilified for the rest of his life? I think there's still an opportunity to have a shred of a legacy, a positive legacy in what he did on the field. But every month that goes by that he refuses to sell this team and continues to hold up the development in Tropicana Field and in Tampa. And even the newspapers that have long championed you and been your friend, they're telling you to sell. Everybody, he's got no allies left. How long does he want to do that? We want to go into the season with this cloud hanging over the head of the players too. It's not fair to the players. It's not fair to Kevin Cash. It's not fair to Eric Neander. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to the redevelopment of the Trop, Mayor Welch, the commission, Tampa, everybody. It's not fair to anybody. Just take your money and move on. Do you and then you want to sue Major League Baseball? I guess, he's a different kind of cat, but even him, I don't know. B says John Romano's article this weekend really crapping on Ray's new stadium in Tampa. Of course, he's always championed St. Pete. What do you expect? They've been on the wrong side of the whole damn thing. They've produced these false narratives of he doesn't have any money to spend on players. That's untrue. That there was no money in Hillsborough County. That was untrue. There was no business support in Hillsborough County. That was untrue. That the paper's been talking about this forever. And again, I have nothing personal against John Romano, but those are all flat out lies. They're lies. They're just repeating what the Rays are saying, who have offered no proof. And every time the Rays have been challenged by other people like Chris Lopfalo when they said, oh, it's a $200 million cost overrun, really prove it. Oh, we've spent $50 million already on the stadium. Oh, really? Prove it. Oh, you only spent 11. Okay, another lie. But the Times have printed all of it because Stu said it. And they became false narratives. Sorry. So, of course he's going to crap on a stadium in Tampa. It was named the St. Pete Times forever. Richie P says Coach Fletcher is a good coach, but this season would have been tough for the best of coach. I agree, man. He did an incredible job. It was just a lost season for USF, and after such a great season, it's just, man, it's tough. By the way, could go over this real quick before we hit the break. We got Chris Harry coming up from FloridaGators.com. The Times put out a story. I believe this is a Joey Knight special. Yes, did a great job with this. Talking about 5 names to watch. Chris Kapko, SMU assistant, started Kathleen High and played for USF from 04 to 07. Bulls assist leader in 2006 and has been an assistant on Andy Edenfield's staff at USA for 8 seasons before moving with Edenfield to SMU in 2024. So they've had some really good success. So an assistant there. Andy Kennedy, UAB, number 2 all-time scorer for the Blazers. Kennedy has flourished at his alma mater, UAB, leading them to 5 consecutive 20-win seasons and 2 NCAA tournaments. But would he go to USF as a lateral move, writes Joey? I think that is pretty much a question mark. Buddy McMillan from Samford, generated a lot of buzz, 41-year-old Birmingham native. McMillan has posted 20-win seasons each of the last 4 years, leading his team to the 24 NCAA tournament. Plays buckyball at Samford, 14th in three-point attempts and turnovers forced a game. So a little high-energy three-point team. Ryan Pannone, Alabama's assistant, or Pannoni, Clearwater native and USF alumnus, possesses the most diverse resume on the list. Cut his coach teething at Oldsmar Christian for serving on pro staffs in China, Israel, Germany, Korea, and the NBA G League. Okay. And then Takayo Siddle, UNC Wilmington. Siddle's resume bears strong resemblances to Abdur Rahim's in the sense that he somehow raised a low Division I program from the ash heap. After 3 years as NC State assistant, Siddle took over UNC Wilmington program that had endured 4 consecutive losing seasons and transformed it into an NCAA tournament team. So there's 5 guys. Mike Bray's name not among them. I've heard his name. So that's Joey Knight's list of possible replacements at USF. So, I think they'll probably go that Amir route. I like the idea of getting somebody who's on the rise, up and coming, as far as instead of a Mike Bray that's been there, done that. An older guy, because you got to bring the energy, you got to bring the NIL. I think some of these older guys are like, not that they don't have energy, but and I don't mean this specifically about Mike Bray. I have no idea what his wants, needs, things are, but up and comers, I just think have a better drive for what it takes. It's 24/7 player retention, NIL, all that stuff. So we'll see where USF goes in the coming months. But I would say, going for a big name, probably, an older coach that's been out of it, a Rick Pitino type, which would have been great to get Rick Pitino and all his ties to USF alumni, but that was never going to happen. The Last Waltz Media says, hold on, did the Athletics not have to pay a relocation fee because Sacramento isn't permanent? What about if they move to Las Vegas? Do they pay the relocation then? Yeah, I believe they're having to pay a relocation fee as a team that is moving. And not Sacramento. Sacramento's not permanent, so there's no relocation fee for that. But I think if you're permanently moving, you have to pay a relocation fee. Is Tim Bragg bagging groceries today? No, he's doing the Mall Santa thing, I believe. Just getting in a little early. Seriously, though, big Ray J remodel in 5 years, go back to multi-purse stadium. Bucks only use it 10 times a year. It's an interesting thought, B. And I was talking to Carter last night, and he was talking about different sites. And I said, "Are you guys settled on Ybor?" He says, "No, Ybor looks good. Daryl Shaw. That's." He goes, "But that might take longer to build. Where there might be other options where the land is already available and can build much quicker." And I'm like, "And there's already parking." He said. So I'm like, "Well, where would that be, Ray J?" Land cost because it's the county's. County owns it. So the county would be your partner in terms of the land cost. And you got, you still have, even if you took up part of the parking lot, you still have plenty of parking, HCC, all around there. And of course, the different neighborhoods do a great job with that as well. So if you were going to do a multi-purpose stadium, and I floated this idea, and I got it. I did this on the Tampa Developer podcast because they had some really good technology where we could pull up all kinds of graphics and stuff. And one of the things I was talking about was Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium. And there are actually renderings of this. They're right next to each other in Kansas City. And the original idea was to have a sliding roof, like on the tracks. And it looked like a semicircle. And it would just slide over Arrowhead Stadium and then slide over Kauffman Stadium, the baseball stadium right now. Now, this was 1970s technology. I would think now, if you build a baseball stadium and kind of a multi-purpose, you could build a kind of adding on to Raymond James Stadium in that area, just kind of pave over Tom McEwen Boulevard where Bucks Beach is right now. That would be your entertainment district. You could build, condos and residential around it, to get that developer money. Still have plenty of room for parking in the other areas, or over, between One Buck Place and the stadium could be all residential as well. That huge parking lot there. There's a lot of where the was that the mall that used to be there or whatever it was there. So there's still a lot of open space. So yeah, you could put, a second stadium and build onto it and be part of the whole development and then have a sliding roof that went over both of them. I mean, that's not ridiculous. And then you could kill two birds with one stone. So maybe, and that would be, as far as an entertainment district, it's Midtown. It's a great location. I think it would work fantastic. And obviously we've seen with the Savannah Bananas on Saturday. Did you guys see that? Holy moly, that was incredible. 65,000 people. And I know it's a one-off and it's not really baseball, but those are tons of families, little league kids. So it is baseball. You got tons of families and little leagues, and those are the type of people that will be buying season tickets or tickets at a stadium in Tampa that aren't doing it in St. Pete. So I do think there is some, attachment you can make to that as far as baseball working in Tampa. 65,000 people went to see Banana Ball. So come on. All right, just a couple more here. Rob Manfred put out a big statement after Stu pulled out of the St. Pete deal that MLB is committed to finding a solution in the Tampa Bay area. Exactly, Michael. I mean, I don't know how many times he has to say it. They're not leaving the market. They're just not. Let me see here. Ray Kennedy says, good morning to you, Ray. Yeah, but my question is, do you think Stu would foot the bill or one of the potential owners will foot the $15 million a year for 26, 27, 28, because if not, then the team will be a Tropicana in 2026. Here's the deal, Ray. You can spend a minimum of $65 million to repair the Trop for 26, 27, and 28. And by the way, it would only be a partial 26 because there's no way they're going to get it repaired by April of next year. I don't see that ever happening, especially when you have two entities that don't trust each other in the city and the Rays. To me, it would be much easier and costs certainty if they just paid if the St. Pete just paid the $15 million, they could get some out of their insurance and just paid for them to play it at Steinbrenner Field. $15 million a year. So then it's 45. It's cheaper than repairing the Trop by a tremendous amount. And you don't even know what the final ticket's going to be on the Trop. So I think they would just pay for them to play at Steinbrenner because they have to provide a field, at least pay for it. I think that would be the easiest solution. All right, we will take another quick break. On the other side, Chris Harry is going to join us from FloridaGators.com. He was in Nashville to watch the Gators win the SEC championship and get that number one seed. So we'll find out what this Florida Gator team is all about. The favorites to win the national championship when we come back. Stay with us.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Hey guys, February's birthstone is amethyst, a stunning purple gem that symbolizes peace, protection, tranquility, and sincerity. Celebrate her birthday or your 6th and 17th wedding anniversaries with an unforgettable amethyst gift. And of course, for over 40 years, the Golden Diamond Source has been Tampa Bay's most trusted name in fine jewelry. We only sell natural diamonds. If it's real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't get a fake. The Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program will help you learn about the 4 C's, what style, shape, and color works best for you and your unique style. Folks, it's the best customer service. They make it so easy for you, and they're not going to push you into something that you cannot afford. 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Also, you can turn your old unused gold into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up. So get that old jewelry and bring it on in. You know where, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on this Thursday. I was just reading something from Thursday. On this Monday, St. Patty's Day, and I am producing the show myself like I'm actually drunk on St. Patty's Day. But I'm not. Not yet. Anyway, I probably should have gotten drunk. No question about it. We're brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any issues with your AC or your plumbing or anything around the house, Third Generation Plumbing can take care of it for you. They are great folks over there. Extremely reputable. Go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com, or Google them and read about all their 5-star reviews. They've got great technicians that have been working there a long, long time. They come out, give you a fair price, fair assessment, fair tune-up, and you'll love the service. They're great customer service at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So go call our good friends over there, John Rodriguez, the owner. If there's anything wrong, you think you feel like something did not go right or the price was unfair or whatever, give him a call and he will make it right. That's why they've been in business for so long. It's thirdgenerationplumbing.com. All right, we are awaiting the appearance of our good friend Chris Harry. I'll text him and make sure if he's remembers to come on. Sorry, we have to do this on the air, folks, because I cannot multitask. We'll see if we can get him on, because I want to learn more and more about this young Gators team. All right, back to some of your thoughts here. Michael LaRue, good morning to you. Say, can Hillsborough, Tampa come up with 50-50 public-private partnership funds? I've been told by at least one of these groups that they're more than willing to do 2/3 funding. So developer, and actually it's kind of developer 1/3, 1/3 private, the actual investors buying the team. And if they're the same, then it's basically 2/3. So 2/3 investor, private money, 1/3 public money. So that's how you get it done. We've always said this. St. Pete had more upfront money, but long-term was better in Tampa. And that's the model that they've built, because you can create these districts. One of the great things about the Ybor property is it can be zoned into an opportunity zone, which allows you to a lot more leeway in terms of funding. And you can create these districts where money that's being spent there can be specially taxed to go to. That's what they did in Atlanta. So in the Battery, every beer, every burger, every hot dog, there's a surcharge of 25 cents or whatever. And that goes into paying back the bonds from the public side, which is a really great way to do it, because it's kind of user fee. So everybody who's not going to the baseball stadium, is not using it, is not paying for it. It's tourist taxes. It's SITS taxes, which is kind of tourist, because that's also a sales tax. Now, I guess you are certainly paying some of that. But those are all going to tourist things like stadiums, other development, advertising, marketing, to bring people into the area. And I can tell you those dollars are spent very wisely. And if they're not creating heads and beds, they're not spent. And stadiums, especially this type of stadium entertainment district, would obviously be doing that. And again, the Bright Line coming down into downtown Tampa and having that stop right there, which would be blocks from the Ybor site, would be really genius in terms of bringing folks from Orlando, whether they be visitors or, that's the 15th largest market now, Orlando. So, and growing. And that whole I-4 corridor, Polk County, I believe, is the fastest growing county in Florida. So therefore one of the biggest in the nation. So I think that's where they get to the money. And then there's money left over for the Bucks as well. I mean, we asked that of Ken Hagan directly in the interview on Friday, and he addressed that. So, part of the problem is the Bucks have not come to the table yet and said, this is what we want. So we don't know what they want or what it's going to cost. But I can assure you, the Bucks are the number one priority, and they're going to get what they need. And don't forget, the Glazers have a ton of money and they have a ton of cash. Now they're building a new stadium in Old Trafford. Is no longer. So they're building a $2.4 billion stadium in London or in Manchester. So, how much of that is coming out of their pocket? I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know how that's being financed, but they'll be available to put more money into a stadium here as well. And like they did, they just put $130 million into it for redoing all the suites and everything else. That's why I don't think they're blowing it up and going to do a whole new stadium. I think it's going to be something where they just do something climate controlled and maybe add to some of the capacity in the end zones, which is very, very doable. All right, let's talk some basketball. I got my man Chris Harry here from FloridaGators.com, who just got back from Nashville, the Music City. What is that? Is that a newspaper?
Yeah, right.
What is that, Chris? I think I remember those at some point, but it looks like a printed newspaper. Where'd you get that?
Actually, fake newspaper. That's the thing they hand out, in the moment in real time, so they can all get their photo op. But it worked out well. Walter Clayton was holding one up, and certainly deservedly so. JP. Quite
that's old school.
Team over the weekend. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I texted you last night because I back when I was working at Channel 8 in the for the 06. So was it 06, 07 Gator team back to back? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was a different type of team. It was just as dominant as this one, but it was a different type of team. Talk to me about this team, how they get it done. They're deep, they're fast, they shoot it, they defend. What's this team all about?
Well, you mentioned that 06-07 team. Not only are the different team, it's a different league, JP. This team had 14 teams. This team gets 14 teams in the SEC tournament. Florida went 14-4 in the league. It's most wins that they'd had in the SEC in 11 years, since 2017, I believe. But this run through the tournament beat 21 Missouri, beat number 5 Alabama, beat number 6 Tennessee, and you're right, they do it with everything. They're very deep. Seth Greenberg He I think says it best, actually. He says there's no Noah's Ark. They have two of everything. And what they're able to do, if you want to get in a track meet like Alabama wants to play, they can do that with you. You want to get into a rock fight like A&M or Tennessee want to do, the Gators can play that also. Todd Golden's done a magnificent job with his roster construction. The development of the team with the coaching staff has been superb. They're just an elite team right now, and they're. You keep seeing these national pundits picking Florida to win the national championship. It's obviously it's not easy, but they put themselves in position, and they're playing their best basketball right now of the season. They've won, I believe, 12 of 13, and they're on a roll after running through that tournament.
Chris Harry joining us here from FloridaGators.com. Walter Clayton Jr. is a special type of player. You need one of those guys. If you look back on national championships, one of those guys typically goes into the NBA and becomes a really good one-on-one scorer, that you got to have in that league, a guy that can create his own shot, make everybody better. Talk to me about him and how good he's been, especially in the clutch moments. Yeah,
and let's just go back a little bit. This is a guy, he was at Bartow High School, and UCF an hour to the east, USF an hour to the west, did not recruit the guy. Yeah. The only schools in Florida didn't recruit him. Florida State didn't recruit him. Miami didn't recruit him. The only schools recruited him in the state were Jacksonville and Florida Gulf Coast. He ends up going to Iona, plays for Rick Pitino, Conference Player of the Year up there, and came home. And he has been a godsend for this program. Todd Golden and he hit it off immediately. They're a little bit like in the fact that with their competitive natures, but yeah, you do need the alpha male. And he's the go-to guy. He has no problem with that, but he also has no problem sharing the spotlight with guys like Elijah Martin, who knows a lot about winning, having won 60 games the last 2 seasons at FAU, and with Will Richard, who came from Belmont. These are unheralded guys out of high school, weren't recruited by the major schools in their states. Will Richard from Georgia, Elijah Martin from Mississippi, Walter from here. And they've managed to come together a little bit and are doing it the right way at Florida right now.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned that, and Janai Broom, who's going to be the player of the year for Auburn.
Another one.
Tampa Catholic.
There's another one. Right. Yeah,
how do these coaches miss on these guys?
I don't know, but you can't. You can't like point fingers at everything when you start looking at all these great teams and everything. These mid-major schools get robbed. The mid-major schools find them, and the next thing you know, these great players in mid-major schools are gone. And there's those stories are all around. Will be all around the NCAA tournament, all around the country this season. But Florida got 3 really good ones, and I haven't even mentioned the 2 sophomores, Alex Condon and Thomas Houck. Those are guys who are unheralded players coming out of high school. Condon from Australia, Houck from Pennsylvania. Lightly regarded players, weren't even in the top 100, 150 of their class. They're great basketball players right now. And like I said, it goes back to the coaching staff and the development of this program right now.
Yeah, let's talk about Todd Golden for a second. I mean, and we don't have to get into the specifics of it, but they were the Title IX investigations that were, I mean, those are things that are going to hang over your head and bother you, not just, basketball wise, but your family. I mean, it's a big deal. How have they been able to navigate through that to have a season like this?
Well, without getting into too many details about it, JP, just give them credit for being able to compartmentalize is the word I use, because that is a lot of stuff hanging over both your team and your family and the community and what have you. And it really has been brushed aside. I mean, they went through the process. The independent counsel came in and looked it over and moved on from it. But the team had his back. They got real about it, and it was a thing early in the season. But when it did come out, it went away pretty quickly because they addressed it and played right away and They never really missed a beat. I mean, I think the first game where they went to Florida State, I think won up there by 15 points or something like that. And you knew it was going to be a distraction on the road this season, but they've just moved on through it. And it's really not even a topic of discussion anymore. And, maybe now once this starts going a little bit national, of course. But the guy is a competitor. He's a program builder. He learned that from Bruce Pearl. He knows how to identify talent, and he knows how to mesh it and knows how to coach it. And I think he should be very much in the conversation for NCAA Coach of the Year. Probably won't get it, but I don't know who's done a better job in the country.
Absolutely, he's done a fantastic job. And let's talk about their bracket now. They're going to play the winner of the play-in game, right?
No, they get Norfolk State. They get Norfolk State. Norfolk State in the first round, and then if they are fortunate enough to advance from that, they get the winner of Oklahoma and UConn. And obviously there'll be a lot of the huge spotlight on that. Two-time reigning national championship. You got Danny. I honestly know more about Danny Hurley's antics this year than I do about his basketball team. I just I've watched mostly SEC basketball, but I get to see them this week. Oklahoma was a team in the Southeastern Conference that played a really hard schedule and undefeated in the non-league schedule. They were 13-0 going into the year, finished 8-10. So I don't know how that game's going to work out, but Florida will be focusing on itself like all the great teams do, and we'll see what happens when that 8-9 game comes around.
Yeah. So would you look at? There's a lot of people that are picking Florida to win the national championship. What do you think is a key for them to get it all done? Do they have to shoot well from the perimeter? Defensively, what is kind of their Achilles heel that they have to be really good at?
Well, they can't have slow starts. So when you look at some of their losses this year, and they've only had 4, obviously, they started slow against Missouri at home. That was their lone, fell back by 19. They started slow. Actually, it was a 3-point game up in Tennessee, but ended up getting massacred in the second half by 20. I just think those were outliers as much as anything. I can mention the Georgia game where they fell behind by 26 at Athens and came back to take the lead with about a minute and a half to go in the game. So, again, I go back. They can do anything. But in the NCAA tournament, of course, it's about guarding the 3-point line because it just takes one team to come in and all of a sudden they hit 6 threes in the first half. Mm-hmm. And now you're the number 1 seed and the arena is all against you. And that just happens. So how tough are they? How are they able to navigate and play the way they want to play? Again, they can play any style. Yeah. So what will be the style they intend to play against that particular opponent? It's all about matchups. It's all about 3-point shooting, all about, doing what you have to do to survive and advance.
Well, and I got to believe, Chris, and you've watched this. This has been a historic season in basketball for this SEC team. I mean, obviously they're bigger conferences now, but 14 teams in the freaking tournament. I mean, every night it's a dogfight against the best. It's like what the ACC was in the 90s, and those teams typically went into the tournament and did great because they're battle tested. So right. I got to believe not only do the Gators get a number 1 seed, but they have seen it all. They're versatile and they're battle tested. To me, that's the biggest key, right? And what it's been like watching these games night in and night out with this kind of talent on the floor.
Yeah, like Florida beat Alabama Saturday. Alabama had played 9 straight ranked teams.
Jesus.
So, and you wonder, that's just one. That's just one afternoon, and I just use them as an example because I don't know. I can't tell you who Auburn played the last 9 games. I guarantee 7 of them are ranked teams. Yeah. Florida, same situation. Number 21, number 5, number 6. Their last 3 games. So all of them. You mentioned Florida's battle tested. They're all battle tested. Yeah. Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee. I mean, even Kentucky. Which didn't, what is going to be, I think they're a 5 seed or a 4 seed or something like that. Kentucky was unbeaten against Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama, I believe. I think they beat Alabama twice or Tennessee twice. Jeez. And they didn't make it out of their first game of the tournament. So they've all, there's nothing any of these teams haven't seen having gone through the SEC. And Todd Golden made the point. Playing the SEC tournament is like playing into the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament. So yes, to your point, you're exactly right about that.
Yeah, I know you've been jammed up with basketball. Our good friend Scott Carter usually covers the football team, but I know you're aware of what's going on there. So they're in spring practice. DJ Lagway, I know, has got a bit of an injury. What's going on with him, and How primed is this Gator team for next year? They look really, really good. They could be playoff contenders, I think, next year.
Yeah, and it all, of course, revolves around him. And I don't know how much he's going to practice in the spring, with whatever they're however they're handling that injury. But and that is unfortunate because with the transfer portal and everything, you want to get more reps with your starting quarterback and everything. But he handles himself very professionally. This whole NIL thing, he's got a lot of attention on him. He knows the spotlight's on him, but he's handled himself really, really well. And Gator fans are going to be very excited when the season finally rolls around for 2025. But the way the year ended last year, Gators got a little bit of momentum. Let's see if they can keep it heading into next season.
Yeah, and recruiting's been amazing too. So good stuff. Good. It's good to be a Florida Gator these days, my friend. It's going to be fun watching them in the tournament. Chris, tell everybody how they can get your great content.
Go to FloridaGators.com, if you will. Click on some of my stories there, Chris Harry, senior writer, or go to Twitter or X, I guess it's called, @GatorsChris, and I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great stuff. You do a fantastic job. Nobody knows the team better than you, so we appreciate you jumping on. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks. CJP.
Yeah, enjoy the tournament. It's going to be fun. God, I so wish my team could get back in the tournament. By the way, we haven't talked a lot about Luke Laux, who's the new head coach at Florida State, Clearwater native. So from here in the Tampa Bay area. So we go get him on the show hopefully next week. I know he's been doing all the rounds and is absolutely exhausted. So we'll get him on. And there's a lot. I mean, we talk about these players. I mean, Walter Clayton, nobody freaking recruited him. Janai Brown, nobody recruited him. Like Tampa Catholic, 6'10". How did you miss him? You had to go to Morehead State. Leonard Hamilton, what are we doing? All over. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting that you don't have to go, all over the world to get good basketball players. There's some good ones in Florida. You just got to recruit the right ones. So there's opportunity here. No question about it. All right. We will take another break. When we come back, I got more comments coming in. So we want to get to that. I want to talk a little bit more lightning with you folks. And Levante David has just completed his interview. And we'll get some clips from that as well, hopefully, when we come back. Stay with us. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted #3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salsicce salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, who now have a new extended, larger men's area to get your chains like this beautiful one I have here, the silver chain. It's a nice little cross. I love it very much because I thank the Lord every day for the incredible blessings that he gives me. But you can buy that cross at the Gold and Diamond Source or any necklace. They got an incredible group of a customer service there that will take care of you. So, guys, you go in there, buy yourself something nice. They got the watch selection that's been extended as well. So they got a huge area there for you guys, not just for the ladies. So get yourself something nice and shiny and wonderful. Investments as well for watches and Rolexes and some of these other ones can make great investments. So they've got used, they've got brand new, they've got everything for you guys there. And of course, if you're thinking about popping the question, where else would you go? With the Gold and Diamond Source. Great staff there that will not try to upsell you something. They'll make sure you get a real diamond and you can trust that it is what they say it is, which is not always the case at some of these jewelry places that haven't been in business for 40 years and done the great philanthropy that the folks at the Gold and Diamond Source do with Julie and Steve Weintraub. So head on over there. One of the great local companies we love celebrating. It's the Gold and Diamond Source and their new extended larger men's section. So go check it out. And they, by the way, they do free fittings. They'll free size it for you. They'll clean it for you. All that stuff for free for the lifetime of owning it. So one of the great perks of getting something at the Gold and Diamond Source. All right, let's get to some more of your incredible snarky comments. John Hill says original issued seats have not yet been sold by the Rays. Rays site shows tickets available, and I continue to receive emails from the Rays on tickets available. I don't think it's going to not sell out. Come on. People are just waiting for the prices to go down, Johnny, like you. Michael LaRue says MLB owners want the $5 billion in expansion money. Stu is holding expansion up, and they are not happy about that. Yeah, I've tried to explain this to you folks 1,000 times, and Michael's exactly right. MLB is not effing around. And there was somebody had a comment in here. Richard Francis says JP he will fight and probably win a lawsuit. No, I don't think he's going to win that lawsuit. Major League Baseball is they don't mess around. They do not mess around. I mean, I could tell you some stories that I'm trying to debate whether I could tell you some of these stories, but some of the things I've heard, Major League Baseball, it's a dirty business. No, it's one of the you wonder why they go to such great lengths to not have open books. Like they will avoid anything like in the Rays situation when Stu allegedly defrauded his partners out of hundreds of millions of dollars and had to settle that suit for a large check. Allegedly, it was settled. I was told for a very, very large amount of money. And, you know, they don't want to go to court. They don't want to do depositions. They don't want to open up their books. Major League Baseball don't want to open up their books. They don't want anybody to know. So they go to great lengths at this. So litigation, no one's ever sued. I don't remember an owner ever suing Major League Baseball. Do you think they really want to do that? Not even Stu is that dumb. I really don't think that's a thing. Because it gets dirty. It gets really, really dirty. They do not screw around, Major League Baseball. So I would doubt that very seriously. What else we got here? Yeezy says if Rays went to Orlando, I'd say 70% of the people in attendance would be opposing fans vacationing in Orlando. And that's not, you can't count on that to fill your stadium 81 games. You can't. It's got to be locally generated businesses. And again, Orlando barely supports their MLS and their Magic teams. It's not. And how many times has the commissioner said they love the market? They're not leaving this market. And when you have deep-pocketed owners who are going to invest not only in the team, but invest in the community and have Tampa roots here, That's what, and they're going to put it in the right location, which means on the Tampa side, closer to all the growth, Brightline, Orlando, all that. Do it the right way. And again, I say this all the time, but it obviously bears repeating. We've done everything wrong. We've done everything wrong. And the Rays have still been successful on the field, and their owner has continued to make money. The only problem is the fans can't get to the games. And there's so much. So the opportunity here, and this is when I talk to Carter McCain's group or any of these other groups, it's why they love the opportunity here. It's the fastest growing region in America for the most part, the I-4 corridor. You're going to have a baseball team here in a tourist area with the best airport in the world, beaches, baseball. You got all the people coming from the Northeast that especially if you have an iconic stadium that's centrally located. Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. That's why there's a lot of people bidding on it. Can Hillsborough Tampa come up with 50-50 public-private partnership funding? Yes, they can. Hagan has come on this show and said that. This is a false narrative, okay, that Hillsborough County doesn't have any money. Their tourist taxes have gone through the roof over the last 5 years since COVID because people are coming to the free state of Florida. And Water Street obviously has provided a lot more residences and hotels for people to stay in. So yeah, it's a total game changer. They have the money. Now they don't have the money to give a boondoggle, like Ken said the other day. They don't have the money to write a $700 million check to the Rays, but these new groups are coming in there aren't asking for that. They're not like Stu trying to suck every penny out of the public because they understand that there has to be a fair deal for everybody for it to work. That's what real businessmen understand. And Stu has never understood that. It's always take for him. That doesn't work in a public-private partnership. He tried to do that with his own partners, and that didn't work out very well for him. This is different. Bad ownership, bad location, bad stadium. And we still made it work for 30 years. Now let's try good location, iconic stadium, deep-pocketed owners. Wonder if that would work. Rick says, if Stu pushes back too much, Manfred will send in the fixer that made Ohtani gambling scandal disappear. That's what I'm talking about. If they could get federal charges dismissed or not even filed against Ohtani, Major League Baseball has a lot of power. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the commissioner's office and all those other owners. And that's where Stu is right now. It's not just Manfred. Who controls Manfred? The other owners. And if you were another owner and you realize that this guy's been holding up expansion, not because of what he told you and lied about, that St. Pete and Tampa were the problem in the local governments, which now is exposed that he lied about that, right? And you're an owner and he's been holding up and you've been giving him revenue sharing money and he's been making more profit than any of you and beating you on the field. And you think they're going to, 2/3 of them are going to say, oh, sure, Stu, go move to Orlando. You don't know how the game's played, but you can keep writing those articles in Orlando. Ray Kennedy says, I know if I had a tenant, but my house required $25,000 to make it habitable, I'll be damned if I'll pay same $25,000 to house them elsewhere. My house needs fixing. Listen, Ray, you don't know what it's going to cost to rebuild the Trop. They say 60 or 56 million. That's not even with the actual engineering done. That's just with people eyeballing it. It's going to cost way more than that. And you want to work, and you're going to be doing that for a group of in the Rays that just played you for 3 years. And how many millions of dollars did the city spend on attorneys and engineering and permitting and all these other things? Well, they don't pay for the permits because they're the city, but all these other infrastructure things that they had to do to get this plan and all. I mean, you're talking millions of dollars, and you got played. Now you want to go. You're going to work on a project to rebuild it with the same group that you don't trust. It's untenable. It's completely untenable, in my opinion. James Rollerson says, does Tampa Hillsborough have enough money for baseball, a redo of RJS and Amalie? According to Ken Hagan, who knows what the numbers are, yes. And again, folks, it's not like the county's paying for everything. They're not. It's a public-private partnership. And the Vinnick is paid for a large majority of the upgrades at Amalie, along with the TSA and the county. Okay? The Glazers have shared, as I mentioned, a huge part of the renovation. They paid $130 million. And then the city and county put in a lot less. So it's not just the county coming up with all the money. These owners are coming up with part of the money too. So keep that in mind. You know, and I know you say, well, yeah, Pinellas County had more money. Sure they did. They needed more money because the long-term money for the team was not there. So you had to give it to them up front. And in the long run, that doesn't work. It doesn't work for anybody. That's why that deal was never good for anybody. Would the Rowdies be part of the Rays deal? I don't know that, James. They could be, depending on. And if I'm building a stadium and I got 81 dates for baseball, I'd want my soccer team to play in there too. So I think they would do that. But that's just my thought. Daniel Rivera said the site I would look at would be the footprint of the old sombrero for a new Rays stadium. Yeah, I think, and I'm just reading the tea leaves here because, as I mentioned earlier, I talked to Carter McCain last night, who's leading one of the groups, and they said their group is looking at a piece of property where the land cost would be negligible, if not, they wouldn't need to pay for the land. That would tell me it's county land or state land, state fairgrounds, or county land, RJS. So, which I think would be a great location. I think it'll be a great location. And then, as we say, sliding roof. Take care of both. MLB let the A's move from Oakland because they're not losing a TV market because of the Giants. Yeah, that's why anybody, and I see this all the time online because A's fans are mad at the commissioner for not sacking or forcing Fisher to sell the team as well to a group in Oakland. But I don't know if anybody ever came forward in Oakland. It's a totally different deal because of market exclusivity here in Tampa. There's not another team here. If there was a team in, Tampa, yeah, the Rays would easily relocate. Absolutely. So it's a totally different deal. JP, check into Polk County boy McKee Academy. I don't know what does that mean as a possible owner? A KJ Scobie, freshman third baseman for South Carolina. Oh, okay. Michael Leroux said, is Ty Golden still under investigation? What happened with that? No, he has been cleared. That's what we were talking about with Chris Harry. That Title IX investigation, they had a third party come in and do it, and they cleared him. I think there were two of them, actually. Alex Nunster says they're going to Portland. They're not. I don't know if you have to say it till you're blue in the face. Reality is Orlando has a ballpark, Worldwide of Sports, ready to use till Orlando is ready. I want them in Tampa Bay, but I don't see it happening. How is Wide World of Sports better than Steinbrenner Field? It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not near, it's in the middle of Disney. There's not a whole lot of residential around it. It's the traffic around that area is just absolutely ridiculous, horrific. You have no built-in attendance in terms of being in a market for 30 years like the Rays have been here. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And I understand. And this is just Stu cozying up to the group over there and saying, oh, yeah, this could definitely happen. Alex Nuster, it's about population. Tampa's a bigger population. It's a bigger market. And it's not transient as transient as Orlando. So I don't know what you're talking about. The market is not better. The opportunity is not better. They don't have money. I mean, he says reality is Orlando has a ball. No, they don't have a ballpark. They'd have to spend $2 billion or $1.5 billion for a ballpark, $1.2 billion, whatever it is. Okay. And you got to spend almost $2 billion on the team and then a relocation fee of $1 billion. So you're looking at $5 billion. And where's the money coming from? They've already committed $400 million of their tax money, if I'm not mistaken, to Camping World Stadium. So where's their public funding coming from? And again, how many times does Manfred have to say it? They're not leaving the Tampa Bay market. It's a larger market. They're the 11th. Orlando's 15th. You don't have any history in the market of baseball in Orlando. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close. And they're just teasing you. Stu is just teasing you. Like the stripper. She doesn't love you. Put your money in your pocket. Go spend it on another theme park. That's what people come to Orlando for. Theme park. Not baseball. They're not coming from 81 games. No. It's not happening. Stop it. All right. Anything else? Levante David has had his press conference this morning. He was asked about his inside linebacker coach, Mike Caldwell, coming back. He said, Caldwell's dope. I think that means good. So he's excited about having Mike Caldwell back. He also talked about why he returned and said, he talked to his family. He felt like he played at a really high level last year, and he wouldn't come back if he didn't feel like he could uphold that standard. So it tells me he's feeling good. He's feeling healthy. He feels like last year was good and he could do it again. If I were the Bucs, I'd still be. Is CJ Mosley still on the market? I think he is. So yeah. All right. Hey, I want to say a special thank you to the folks at MOR TV. We did the live stream of the St. Paddy's Day Rough Riders Parade. If you were in the parade and you want to check it out, I was hosting it. Ronnie Barber stopped by. He was the Grand Marshal. He stopped by, do a quick interview with us. Really fun day. So if you want to check that out, we did a great live stream of it. Go to MOR TV or MOR-TV.com and you can see the live stream. Also, RHS TV, I do a show called Tampa Bay Tonight. So download the RHS TV app. We had Tracy West on talking about all the great stuff that's going to be going on at Valspar this week. So you can check that out. We also did a show with BJ Daniels. Also did a show with Jasmine Artiga, who's going to be fighting for the IBF World Championship March 22nd. She came on and did a great show with us as well. So we did really cool stuff on RHS TV. It's called Tampa Bay Tonight, kind of a fun show. Go check that out. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. Hope you got all the green beer you ever want. And go have a whiskey on me. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you guys for jumping in here. I'm going to try to close the show real nice. And we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully you have Scott Reynolds on and the whole group. So, and I think this ugly guy to my right will be back on as well. So have a great day, everybody.